Okay, great 10. What we're going to do now that you've found a function on your own mathematically without using technology, you've improved your function using sliders, using your knowledge of transformations, we can try one more option, and that is for the computer to give us a function. This process is called regression. So to do this, you need to have, maybe we don't want our original function or any other functions there, so you can just click on the dot next to it. It just hides it, it doesn't delete it. You need your spreadsheet showing because you need to use those points. So the first thing you do, make sure your spreadsheet's showing. Click and drag, highlight your points. And again, you'll notice that the toolbar up there has changed. The next thing you do is go to the second one and you choose two variable regression analysis, just the second option. Just click analyze, you don't need to worry about that. Then what you need to do is you choose which function. Now, unfortunately, Geogebra only has a sine function. So even if you originally chose a cosine function, you have to choose the sine option. And so when you do that, then it draws a function for you. And you can see that fits quite well. Now what would be nice is if we could transfer this over to our graphics screen here and then see if we could find the mean error. It's really easy. You don't have to type it out. So you can just get it to be copied there. But before I do, here is my function. Notice that here it does use sine. Here I don't have a horizontal translation, but you might even if you didn't originally use one. So just be aware of that. And they've just written the plus C at the beginning instead of the end. If I compare what I had, 16.2 for the C, and if I just make this bigger, I had 16.23, so pretty close. And then my A was 1.3 for them, and for me 1.25, which actually rounds to 1.3. And then 0.48 for the B. Now what you need to be aware of is the B is actually in what's called radians. It's just another measure of an angle. Instead of using degrees, you can use radians. You don't have to worry about that too much at the moment. So that will be the one that probably seems quite different to the one that you had your B. Don't stress too much about that. The other nice thing that it does is it does allow you to do a substitution here without you having to do some work. So for example, let's say I wanted to know after 5 hours what the depth of water is according to this function. I can just substitute, I want my x to be 5. I just substitute 5, press enter, and it tells me it's 17.06 meters to 2 decimal places. So that might also be useful. Now, what you really want to do though is copy this to the graphics board. So right click, copy to graphics board, and you can see it's already there. It's relabeled it, so it's called h of x. I don't need this anymore, so we can close this. And it's just by default, it's changed my axes, just be aware of that. Click anywhere on your graphics screen so you make that active. And what we want to do is we want to see how well it fits. So if I just extend my spreadsheet so I can see all of my columns. Now it looks like it fits quite well. Let's see if it's better than my original 0.03. All I need to do, you only need to change one thing. I don't want to use my f of x function now, I want to use my h of x function. So my predicted depth is where I told it which function to use. So if I click on that cell and then double click, you see the formula that you typed in. And the only thing I need to change is delete that f and put an h because it's automatically named this regression function as h of x. Press enter. It gives me a new value, and then of course click and drag to copy that formula down. And you can see everything changed accordingly. And look at that, that actually fit exactly according to this spreadsheet. There is no error. That means that it's an exact fit. Now this is not normal for when you're modeling. Normally when you model real life data, it doesn't fit that perfectly. So don't stress if you don't get your mean error down to 0. It's highly unlikely you won't. That's not normal in the real world. Okay, it just happens in this case that it is 0. But what should happen anyway is it will change, and hopefully it might be smaller. Okay, so that's how you can do regression, and then you can do anything you need with that function, just like you have with your other functions. All right, good luck with your modeling task.